Recording in progress.
President Post members of the Harvard Corporation on the board of overseers, members of the faculty, proud parents on the board. Charity UATs. The first thing I would like to say is thank you not only has Harvard given me an extraordinary honor, but the works of fear and nausea I have endured at the thought of giving this commencement address have made me lose WLHT, a win-win situation. Now all I have to do is take deep breaths, squint at the red banners, and convince myself that I am at the world's largest griffin reunion. Delivering a commencement address is a great responsibility. Oh, so I thought until I cast my mind back to my own JRDU's ATION, the commencement. Speaker that day was the distinguished British philosopher Baroness Mary W. Irenos-K. Reflecting on her speech has helped me enormously in writing this one, because it turns out that I can't remember a single word she said. This liberating discovery enables me to proceed without any fear that I might inadvertently influence you to abandon promising careers in business, the role or politics for the last of becoming a gay wizard. You see, if all you remember in years to come is the gay wizard joke, I've come out ahead of Bernice Mary W.L. Nosike. Archibald goes the first step to self-empowerment. Actually, I have left my mind on heart for what I would to say to you. Theody, I have asked myself what I wish I had known at my own graduation, and what important lessons I have learned in the 21 years that have expired between that day and THIS. I have come up what to a NSWUERS on this wonderful day when we are gathered together to celebrate your academic success. I have decided to talk to you about the benefits of FAL URI, and as you stand on the threshold of what is sometimes called real life, I want to extol the crucial importance of IMA INETION. This may seem quixotic or paradoxical choices, but please bear with me. Looking back at the 21-year-olds that I was at graduation is a slightly uncomfortable experience for the 42-year-old that she has BOME half my lifetime ago. I was striking an uneasy balance between the ambition I had for myself and what those closest to me expected of Amy. I was convinced that the only thing I wanted to do ever was to write an OBLS. However, my parents, both of whom came from impoverished backgrounds and neither of whom had been to college, took the view that my overactive imagination was an amusing personal quirk that would never pay a mortgage. Particular PNSION, I know that the irony strikes with the hope of a cartoon number. And no value, so they hoped that I would take a vocational degree. I wanted to study English, allied URI. A compromise was reached that in that respect satisfied nobody, and went up to study modern language as hardly had my parents' car rounded the corner at the end of the road than I reached German and scuttered up down the classic corridor. I cannot remember telling my parents that I was studying classics. They might well have found out for the first time on graduation day. Of all the subjects on this planet, I think they would have been hard put to name one less useful than Greek mythology when it came to securing the keys to an executive bedroom. I would like to make it clear, in parentheses, that I do not blame my parents for their point of view. There is an expiry date, and blaming your parents for steering you in the wrong direction. The most you are old enough to take the work responsibility lies with you. What is more, I cannot criticize my parents for hoping that I was never experienced poverty. They had been poor themselves, and I have since for on I quite agree with them that is not an ennobling experience. Poverty in entire sphere on the stress, on sometimes depression. It means a thousand petty humiliations on hardships climbing out of poverty by your own efforts. That is indeed something not on which to fight. What I feared most for myself at your age was not poverty, but failure. And your age, in spite of a distinct lack of motivation at university, where I had spent far too long in the capybara writing stories and far too little time at lectures. I have a knack for passing examinations. On that 4 years had been the measure of success in my life on that of my parents. I am not the enough to suppose that because you are young, keep gifted and well educated, you have never known hardship. or HL Yaltibari AK talent and intelligence never yet inoculate anyone against the calmness of the pace, and I do not for a moment suppose that everyone here has enjoys an existence of unoffered privilege and contentment. However, the fact that you are graduating from Harvard suggests that you are not very well acquainted with FAIR LURE. You might be driven by a fear of failure quite as much as a desire for SUCCSS. Indeed, your conception of failure might not be too far from the average person's idea of success. So I have you already Apollo WN. Ultimately, we all have to decide for ourselves what constitutes failure. But the worst is quite eager to give your set if criteria if you let IT, so I think it's fair to say that by any conventional measure, a mere 7 years after my graduation day, I had failed on an epic, SALE, and exceptionally short-lived marriage had imploded, and I was jobless, a lone parent, and as poor as it is possible to be in modern Britain without being HOME the peace that my parents had for me, and that I had for myself has both come to pass. And by every usual standard, I was the biggest failure I knew. Now I am not going to stand here and tell you that failure is from that period of my life was a dark one. And I has no idea that there was going to be what the press has since represented as a kind of fairy tale resolution. I had no idea then how far the tunnel extended for a long time. Any light and the end of it was a hope rather than a reality. So why do I talk about the benefits of failure simply because failure meant stripping away of the essential? I stopped pretending to myself that I was anything other than what I was and began to direct all my energy into finishing the only work that mattered to me had I really succeeded. At anything else, I might never have found the determination to succeed in the one endeavor I believed I truly belonged. I was set free because my greatest fear had been realized, and I was still alive, and I still have a daughter whom I adored, and I had an old typewriter, but big idea, and so last button became the solid foundation on which I lived my life. You might never, you might never pale on the scale I did, for some failure in life is any bite, it is impossible to live without feeling eat something, unless you live so cautiously that you might as well not have lived at all, in which case you fail by the FAULT failure, giving inner security that I have never attained by fasting. It's my name, TIOONS. Failure took me things about myself that I could have learned nor of the WAY. I discovered that I had a stronger and more discipline than I had suspected. I also found out that I had friends whose value was truly above the pride of UBRES. The knowledge that you have emerged wise and stronger from the setbacks means that you are ever after secure in your ability to. You will never truly know yourself or the strength of your relationships until both have been tested by a variety. Why such knowledge is a true gift for all that is painfully won, and it has been was more than any qualification I ever earned. So given a time turner, I would tell my 21-year-old self not that personal happiness lies in knowing that life is not a checklist of acquisition or achievement. Your qualifications, your CV are not your life. Too. You will meet many people of by age and older who compute to life is difficult and complicated and beyond anyone's total control, and humility to know that will enable you to survive is vicissitudes. Now you might think that I chose my second sim, the importance of imagination, because of the part it played in rebuilding my life. But that is not wholly so, though I personally would defend the value of bedtime stories to my last gaps. I have learned to value imagination in a much broader sense. Imagination is not only the uniquely human capacity to envision that which is not, and therefore the fount of our invention and innovation in is arguably most transformative and revelatory capacity. It is the power that enables us to empathize with humans whose experience we age. One of the greatest formative experiences of my life preceded Harry Potter, though it informed much of it I subsequently wrote in those few careers. This revelation came in the form of one of my earliest day jobs. Though I was sloping off to light stories ring lunch, how was I paid the rent in my year 20s by working at the African Research Department at Amnesty International's headquarters in Yellow and Deal. When there in my guitar opus I lead hastily scribbled letters smuggled out of totalitarian regimes by men and women who risking imprisonment to inform the outside world of what was happening to THM. I saw photographs of those who had disappeared without trace, sent to amnesty by their desperate families and aunts. The parodies. I read the testimony of torch victims on the pictures of their agonies. I found handwritten eyewitness accounts of summary trials on executions, of kidnappings and rapes. Many of my co-workers were ex-political prisoners, people who had been displaced from their homes or fled into exile because they had the temerity to speak against their jovial remittances visitors to our research included those who had come to give information or to try and find out what had happened to those they had left behind. I shall never forget the African torch victim, a young man no older than I was at the time, who had become mentally ill after all he had endured in his HOME. And he trembled uncomfortably as he spoke into a video camera about the brutality inflicted upon HIM. He was a foot taller than I was and seemed as fragile as a child. I was given the job of escorting him back to underground station afterwards on this man whose life had been shattered by cruelty took my hand with exquisite courtesy and wished me future happiness. And as long I had life, like I shall remember walking along an empty corridor and suddenly hearing from behind a closed door a scream of pain and horror such as I have never heard a sigh and see. The door opened, and the research poked out her head and told me to run and make a hot drink for the young man sitting with Aisha, which she had just had to give him the news that in retaliation for his own outspokenness against his country's regime, his mother has been sieged and executed every day of my work in my early 20s. I was reminded that how incredibly fortunate I was to live in a country with a democratically elected government where legal representation and a public trial for the rights of everyone. Every day I saw more evidence about the reverse humankind will inflict on their fellow humans to gain or maintain POW. I began to have nightmares, literalized nightmares about some of the things I so hard on RAD. And yet I also learned more about human goodness at Amnesty International than I have ever known. BFOI, Amnesty was thousands of people who had never been tortured or imprisoned for their abilities to act on behalf of those who have the power of human empathy leading to collective action saves lives. And Prince Paris Sone arrests ordinary people whose personal well-being and security are assured join together in huge numbers to save people they do not know and will never admit. My small participation in the process was one of the most humbling and inspiring experiences of my life. Unlike any other creature on this planet, humans can learn and understand without having experience. They can sink themselves into other people's places, of course. This is a power like my brand of fictional magic that is more Luther might use such an ability to manipulate or control just as much as to understand or sympathize, and many prefer not to exercise their imaginations. Either they choose to remain comfortably within the bounds of their own experience, never troubling to wonder how it were to feel to have been the one other that they are. They can refuse to hear screams or to fear inside cages. They can close their minds on hearts to any suffering that does not touch them personally. They can refuse to know I might be tempted to envy people who can live that way, except that I do not think they have any fewer nightmares than I do. Choosing live in narrow spaces leads to a form of mental agoraphobia. And that brings its own terrors. I think the word unimaginable, unimaginative, she, but what is more, those who choose not to emphasize enable masters for without ever committing an act of our life here ourselves to collude with its truth our own apathy. One of the many things I learned at the end of the classic course down which I ventured at the age of 18 in search of something I could not define was this, written by the great author Plutarch, with a achieve unworthily will change. Out of reality, that is then astonishing statement and yet proven 1,000 times every day of our lives it expresses. In fact, our inescapable connection with the outside world, the fact that we, the fact that we touch other people's lives simply by existing. But how much more are you, Harvard graduates? Of 2008, likely to touch other people's lives, your intelligence, your capacity for hard work, the education you have earned on the give you unique status and unique responsibility. Even your nationality says you apart great majority of you belong to the world's only remaining superpower. The way you vote, the way you live, the way you protest, the pressure you bring to bear on your government has an impact way beyond your voice. That is your privilege and your burden. If you choose to use your status and influence to raise your voice on behalf of those who have no voice. If you choose to identify not only with the power, but with the powerless. If you retain the ability to imagine yourself into the lives of those who do not have your advantages, that it will not only be your proud families who celebrate your existence, but thousands and millions of people whose reality you have helped change. We do not need magic to change the world. We carry all the power we need inside ourselves already. We have the power to imagine better. I am nearly finished. I have one last hope for you, which is something I already had, but and 21 the friends with whom I set graduation day. They I have been my friends for life day. My children's godparents, the people to whom I've been able to turn in times of trouble, people to have been kind enough not to sue me when I took their names for that it was at our graduation were bound by enormous affection by our shared experience of the time that could never come up again. And of course, by the knowledge that we have certain photographic evidence that would be exceptionally valuable if any of us ran for prime minister. So today, I wish you nothing better than similar average Chipedians on tomorrow. I hope that even if you remember not a single of mine, you remember those of Seknarker, another of those old Romans I met with. I fled down the classics forward in Reddit from coded letters in search of ancient wisdom as is a tale. So is life not how long is but how good is what Amatiras. I wish you a very good Alivis. Thank you very much.